So, and I'm gonna like move it down here so that you guys can see the guitar and not see my face. Okay. Questions. I checked out the snippet because I didn't want to hear. Oh yes. Okay. So the snippets. I made sure that I shared. I wanted to make sure that I shared aspects of the musical snippets with people to sort of like just get people stoked for the music, not necessarily like reveal too much. I didn't want to give you guys like the really good like big moments, but I wanted to give you moments that were compelling when sharing the snippets. And I also did want to say this. Mason's art, when I put my music to Mason's visuals, something weird would happen where my shit would just match up perfectly. And it was just like really weird. Like specifically the clip of the dungeon, the 3D dungeon, like everything just lined up so insanely perfectly.
Yeah, the 3D dungeon has a there's a little delay between each step, so it has this kind of beat to it,
Yes.
built in.
Which
so
is like I don't know,
music.
like my goal for that, I wanted to write something in 3/4 for it, but like I didn't necessarily like I didn't necessarily want it to be like you know something that was like a drowsy 3/4. So it's like this it's a very like compelling it's like this 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. It's just like a very cool vibe, but like obviously that's just me playing clean. Like I'll do a rig rundown in a little bit. The battle music, which one? That battle music, the typical battle music is, I wanted to make it like sort of punk rock, but also like have, I don't know, I was thinking like the origins of the game are like from a JRPG, so I wanted to sort of have like this Japanese-y sort of element as well. And I was thinking like a little bit of like a Persona 5 style groove without it being like all like Fender Rhodes stuff. Yeah, I'm really glad that y'all like the aesthetic so far. I think like 99.9% of the people really like it. And of course, like some people aren't gonna like it, and it's cool. It's cool to not like. My thing is especially like because the Hylix IP like already existed, and my music is sort of like being put into, it's being like, you know, added as an embellishment to the musical experience. If you don't like it, tell me why. Like I need to know why you don't like it. But it's like, you know, I'm glad that people are liking it so far. All right, so some notable things about Hylix. There's the Hylix 2. This is the bread and butter. This is just a brass tube slide. It's never really fit my finger. It's sort of like a little tight, but you can see that, like, you know, I just get it on there and then so we have like these themes that sort of make themselves present pretty early on in the game. And if you listen to the music carefully within the game, you're going to find that there are themes that are interwoven into each of the songs. Are
we Frank Zappa fans?
Zappa fans? Oh, dude, 100%.
Who's that? Who's Frank Zappa?
Yeah,
we're Frank Zappa fans here. This is a Frank Zappa friendly zone.
I love Frank Zappa so much. He's great. Oh, dude. Thanks, Boring LSD. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna do a. Oh, someone sent me like a question. Hold on. I hope it's like something crazy cool. Yeah, we can. So we can still take questions in the Discord if you want.
I'm seeing one relevant one.
Oh, okay.
This is from just after we ended. Uh, what are our favorite tracks from Hylix 2 and 1? I'll answer for one.
Go ahead.
I think the final boss music is my favorite track there. I think it's because it's like the first track I wrote that has more than just like one part. It has like a I don't know what they call the parts, but it has like chorus, and then the thing that goes between that, the bridge, maybe it may have a bridge and then chorus. So it is a little more complicated. I don't know that one. I'm self-incriminating with my lack of music theory knowledge, but it was a little more complex. I was beginning to get into the zone more.
It's better sometimes that you don't have it, because a lot of times music theory, like it gets crazy. Like I find myself like watching like Adam Neely videos online. He's like this great, like modern day music theorist. He's an amazing bass player on YouTube. Like he's just this guy, and he'll be like, so like just because this exists, does that mean that we have to do it? Like just everything that he does is so fucking crazy, and like his intellect is so keen that it's like kind of scary to watch him, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I'm glad that I'm watching this because, like, he's this MFer is spitting. You know what I mean? It's like I get it, I understand what he's saying, but like, just because you have the knowledge, you shouldn't make it completely inaccessible to people. And I think what I tried to do for the music for Hylix 2 was I really tried to focus on just like, making music that sounded cool, that also sounded like tasteful, but also had some experimental elements to it. So with that, I'll show you guys my rig. Let me just take my phone off of the tripod, and let me take my guitar off, and we'll go over the rig rundown. So this is the guitar that I use for the entire album. This is my Music Man Stingray. It's just a 6-string guitar. Don't mind like all the stuff piled over here. This is just what my studio is. So it's just a Music Man Stingray. It's not really like a rare guitar, but it's also not like a guitar that a lot of people play. A lot of people go for the Cutlass Music Man, but I really like this is like a guitar that you would buy if you wanted like a Fender Strat mixed with like a Gibson SG sound. So you can see here that like it's just got like a 3-way toggle. So you've got like your rhythm, your mid, and your treble, and then like 2 humbucking pickups. I did not use the whammy bar. I have my whammy bar system like kind of blocked off because I don't really use it. This is your volume knob, and this is your tone knob. So then let me just turn on this so I can go over here. Some PlayStation 2 controllers, like my mountain of crazy video game nonsense. So this is my pedal board. This is what I used for all of the effects in Hylix 2. So you're going to hear a lot of this. This is a Corona Chorus pedal by TC Electronic. You're going to hear like a lot of like that sort of like more fleshed out tone. It almost gives it like this metallic like sheen sound. I also used a lot of this. This is to this is a Boss Harmonist, but like I only use it for really one function, and it's as an octaver pedal. I really like how it tracks. I could probably get something else, but yeah, Hylix 2 shoegaze is confirmed. Yeah, I wanted to make it like kind of spacey. This is the real deal. This MXR Phase 90. I basically had the whole thing for guitar, so you have a lot of like modular sounding stuff, and then for bass, I actually ran the bass through my pedal board as well. Every single bass track every single one has the phase 90 engaged. So you're going to hear like this really like almost like clock ticking noise on a lot of the bass tracks. This is the Grand Canyon Reverb by Electro Harmonics New York. It's also a looper pedal, but I didn't really use the loop function. I really only use this for reverb function. So this guy right here, and then as well, the shimmer function is really great. I can sort of like, I can show you guys what it sounds like, but you should just listen to the OST when you're playing the game, and you'll know. I really mixed this with this a lot to get the synth sounds. This appears on one track. This is my B9 organ machine by Electro-Harmonics New York. It appears on the final boss battle. And it's just like a B3 sound, and it's just really fat. This is a Wampler Sovereign. This is a fantastic pedal. It's like a distortion pedal that just does like a lot of different stuff. It's got a wide range of distortion options, and I really liked the way it sounded when I was putting it through my little single input device connected to my iPhone, because I recorded the whole thing using my iPhone and GarageBand. I found that it was the quickest way for me to get my ideas down and keep them in the same spot. I don't have like Logic or like Pro Tools or anything, so it just didn't really make a lot of sense for me to do anything other than what I had. A lot of people will say that that's like guerrilla, you know, like it's the guerrilla style of recording, but like listen to the OST and let me know what you think. You know, I think it sounds great. I think it sounds really fresh. And then this is my my Ace 30 pedal, which is basically just it clones your signal to sound like an Vox AC30. So I'm playing out of a 2003 Fender Hot Rod Deluxe, which you don't really hear because I'm not actually playing out of it, but I did model like the amp models that I used in GarageBand to sound like this. Like I picked an amplifier and really like toggled with, this is like what my toggle setup is. You know, I got like my volume and, you know, like the drive, the treble and bass. This is like what I play with live all the time. The reverb on this is insane. And everything goes up to 12, if you notice. Okay, here's the real shit. So all I used was this. This is just an iRig HD2. It had the guitar goes in where the guitar goes in, the pedal board goes in where the pedal board goes in, and you connect the thing to your iPhone, and I use these earbuds. And that is how I recorded primarily. And then what I did after that, is I basically just like did like a headphone mix, speaker mix, car mix. Headphone mix, speaker mix, car mix, back and forth until I really enjoyed what I was listening to. Now, I should make mention. This is what the room looked like when I was recording. This is very important. So this is my aesthetic. I really like. You know, I bought purple lights a while ago and didn't really use them a whole lot, and I put them up knowing that I was going to be recording for Hilux. I almost just dropped my phone. And I wanted to put myself in a position in my studio to get really stoked, and I would be down here until like sometimes like 4 a.m. to just like, I don't know, record. And basically I drove myself to the point of I don't want to say insanity, but you know, I was definitely losing sleep. The bass that I used. Okay, so some people might view this as like sacrilege. I don't know, because I have two basses, but so I have a Fender Jazz 5-string bass that is just absolutely immaculate and so good. I'm just going to show it off because she's so pretty. But this is not the bass that I used on the record. I did not use the expensive bass. I used the 1980 PV Fury, and this is just a 4-string bass that you can pick up in a pawn shop for like $100. It's so good. The bass, it spanks so hard. It's just like my most boinky sounding instrument, and I recorded basically with that bass.
You recorded basically with the
Yeah,
bass?
I bet. Yeah. I recorded with the bass plugged into my pedal board, and I had it constantly running through my my Phase 90 pedal. And so you're gonna get that completely like insane, you know, sounding like TikTok sound, not TikTok the app, but like the sort of like it's like a ticking clock.
Yeah, I think on the first game soundtrack, I had made a lot of use of an auto filter sound, that,
Yeah.
like a wah 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 sound, and that I leaned on that for like rhythm in the tracks, because my my timing was
I mean, no,
not
it's
exactly robotic.
great.
So so the phase, I think, was something that would carry on that kind of, but bring some new sounds in.
Yes. And also everybody, I want everybody who's in the stream to keep in mind that this was not something that oh, please, tapes and CDs and vinyl, physical copies of the soundtrack would be dope. That's from,
I don't know if we want to commit to anything at this moment, but it would be pretty awesome.
Ethereal, that's from Ethereal Fucker. That's that person's name.
Yeah. I guess it's the late night show, so we can.
So okay, I'm gonna answer this question. For Chuck, is it difficult to try and match the original soundtrack in terms of weirdness and ambience? Okay, so great question. I was gonna try and answer this. So, and someone posted down here too. I love the contrast between the lo-fi feel of Hylix 1 and the structured sound of 2. It feels like album eras. Yes. So Mason, you know, there was no point in making the music where I was just like, I'm gonna do what I want. Like I felt very free within the music, but like I'm, you know, like a realistic person. Like I understand what it means when you know, jump on board to a person's IP where 35,000 people have played the game and have a very specific experience. So I was like, Mason, dude, you know, this is kind of terrifying to me. Like, what do I do? How do you want me to go about this? And he's like, well, I've got some ideas for, you know, like the vibe. Here's an itinerary, here's descriptions, and then he also sent me playable demos, color palettes, textures being used, descriptions of scenarios, and then he was like, yeah, just like write whatever you want based on this information, and then just send it to me. And like 9 out of the 10 pieces of music that I sent to him were like, great, this will work perfectly, which made me feel really good because it was like, oh, I'm doing things the right way. There was one piece of music, the original Dungeon Crawler. You have it, so we should just I mean, I think it would be funny if we included it, but I don't know. Like I don't think people are ever gonna hear it.
How did it change?
Oh, it
changed somewhat.
It was
radically.
terrifying. The first one was
scary. It was
yeah.
To me, it had a kind of like Diablo 1 dungeon sound. The scary noises.
It was like like stupid scary. Yeah. Yes, that is, yes, pre-orders would be insane. It would be like we'd be sitting in pre-order hell for a while.
Well, yeah, it's like if the game sells well, then we'll have some you know, we'll have the money to do some fun stuff without having to like make a living off of selling vinyl records.
Why? Just like that's our claim to fame is like
the vinyl. That was
or release it with the OST. Oh, add it or release it with the OST. So yeah, there's some demo stuff. I mean, Mason has every single iteration of every track that I sent him. But I mean, like, obviously, like the real stuff as it got better, sort of like it didn't really start taking shape until you know, like I had sent him like 2 or 3 different versions, and that's usually the way it goes with recording. My band Amigos Amigos is in the process of like we just finished receiving masters from a guy that we sent all of our tracks out to, and it's like 2 passes but a million different things that are changing within the realm of that album. So like I wanna talk about a couple things that I did, because someone asked about this particular tune. Now I'm just gonna tune really quick because I'm not in tune the way that Hylix 2 requires me to be in tune. I'm in E standard, and the whole OST was recorded in E flat standard. Now, for those of you that don't know the difference between the two, E flat standard to me personally has a much more appealing feel. It's more relaxed. So this means that like you know, it's E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, E flat. Jimi Hendrix recorded in E flat standard. Stevie Ray Vaughan recorded in E flat standard. A lot of people record in E flat standard. So now instead of it being this is your E, that's your E. Yeah, E flat standard is like, it's so fun. Now there's one piece of music in here. It's on one of the later ones that I uploaded, the snippet. I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that I did to get the sounds without using too many effects or whatever. There is a point in the game where you are it's like the maze, and things are appearing in front of you. And what Mason required, it was a requirement. He was like, I need less mysticism and more like deep, misunderstood, unknown technology. And I was like, okay, well, this will be like one of the songs that has like synth on it, and all of the synth parts that I wrote for Hylix 2 were done on my iPhone. So like my fingers were like pressing these stupid little keys, and it took me a couple of playthroughs to get it right. But there's this one song that's named Bistecca, which is like
my brother just texted me. He says he thinks Hylix pasta should be feasible.
Hylix pasta, dude.
He thinks that looks feasible.
Dude, he was probably reading through all the comments and people were asking for Hylix mac and cheese.
Yeah, like, he's doing the research.
Dude, let's do it. We need FDA approval. So this is one of the tracks. Oh, I added a bunch of runway too, so now there's like 5 seconds. So in this song, you'll hear this. You'll hear that coming up in a second. I'll try and play along to it, but I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. I wanted to recreate this heart rate monitor. The program that I used for synth was GarageBand. All right, all it is just a slide, high E string. That's it. That's like literally
That's how you make a song.
That's how you make a song. How did I start? Where did I get these ideas from? I wanted it to be this element of like I wanted there to be this element of like moving, like this urgency, like like anxiety is 100% what was driving me to write that song. That the playing in between the cracks and just like moving up slowly, and like I wasn't even playing to a click. It's just like find a pulse that feels like your heartbeat in the moment and play that pulse over the music, even if the pulse doesn't add with the music. And then that sort of gave it like this characteristic of like a heart rate monitor or something, which was appropriate. And I thought Mason was gonna hate it, and he was just like, no, it's good, which is always a good thing to get in response from you, Mason. It's great. Let's look at another one. Okay, so probably my favorite piece of music is Look Ma, I Fly Now, which is later in the game. So like obviously you've played a pretty good portion of the game, and you're met with this music. Internet. Dude, there's a good amount of runway now. And you sort of need to like, you know, get that that point across without the thing being like personified. Like it needs to have a personality, but it's not a person. And I thought to myself, like, it has to have a personality, but it's not a person.
It's a location. It's
like an area. And I was like, does the area like give a fuck? Like that was my question. Does the area care if you're in the area or not? And he was like, no. So then I was like, that's great. Like there's this element of like this sort of like overwhelming like essence of pride. Like, oh, you should be thankful that you're here in my area, you know? Like I thought, like, how am I gonna write this prideful thing? It's rare to have a sequel better than the first. But yeah, I mean, you know, I hope that you guys like it. I hope that the music really embellishes it. I'll let a little bit more of this song play. Why not? This is like development of like, it's the verse again. Here's the modular aspect. The phase 90 turned all the way up. Okay, so I won't give any more of that because it gets really nasty like right away. It's just like
there's more.
So that song also has like special stuff at the end. Like I remember I went to Mason's house to apply the music to the game to see what it looked like, and that was like such a special thing to see, like because I hadn't really seen it yet. So I went over there, and I was there for like 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah, that was funny because like we were both so like into the project that I like didn't offer you any food or anything. It was okay. It was horrible. And like 5 hours, and I was like, "Do you want coffee?" You know,
dude, and you were like, "I made ginger snaps. They're a little
I made some ginger snaps.
I had like 6 ginger snap cookies. They were really good."
Yeah.
So like one of my favorite assets in the game, and one thing that, like, I don't know, it I remember asking Mason, I was like, yeah, can I like do repeating themes? And he was like, try to avoid that. And
yeah, well, you know, because I wasn't thinking of any of that kind of thing. Any
right.
like themes that are carried through the whole soundtrack in the first game.
Right.
So I thought like that's gonna be different, you know.
And yeah,
with your change.
And so I did it anyway.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah,
it wasn't
yeah,
like,
he snuck it past me.
it's not like overtly like, you know, if you're a musician and you know, like you're keen upon, you know, like you know, you're keen in listening, and you analyze and study stuff, like you'll find all the parts, and you'll probably find reasons why I chose those specific things. But you know, most of the time it was just like, oh yeah, this sounds really cool in here, I'm gonna add this melody in. Like there wasn't really like a whole lot of like reasoning, but there are specific songs that incorporate specific elements from other tracks for good reason. I'm gonna have to leave about 6:30 where I'm from. 6:30 a.m. Damn, yeah.
Good night. good morning.
Yeah, good night. Good
Get
morning.
some sleep.
I was teaching a lesson, and I was trying to teach one of my students about a C major, like add 9. So like if you play a C major chord, like a lot of people play it like this, right? But they'll add the low E string, and you get this like sort of like bummy, you know, like weird chord. It's like a C major in first inversion because the E is in the bass. So what I do is I take my ring finger and go down to the G string, and then take my pinky finger and put it on the A string, and then you get something that's a little bit more round. But you can also play a C major as if you're playing a G major. So a lot of people will play this C major add 9, and they'll go back and forth between the C and the G, right? So I'm like trying to teach my student this, and I just like set up, and I'm just like, right, so here's the chord. And I was like, ugh. And I was like, wait a second. Hold on just a minute. Like, that chord is so crazy. What is that? And then I realized, oh, this is like a B augmented chord. And then it's like a B aug add 9. So
I was gonna say that, yeah, kind of a B aug add 9.
About add 9. But you can also like, you can add so much to it. Like it's just like, it's got a lot of character. And then so when I was writing this piece of music, this music is called Prevailing Westerlies, and it's the airship theme. And I think it's probably one of the cooler pieces of music that you're gonna hear it, but like you have to spend time in the ship and spend time flying around in the ship to really enjoy it. And the crazy thing is that you don't need to spend a whole lot of time in the ship when you're playing the game, because the ship takes you to where you want to go, and then you get out of the ship and you're back in the overworld theme, which is a Mason tune. But when you're in the ship, take some time, fly around, let the music embellish the experience. What I decided to do was practice a specific technique called isomorphism. And isomorphism is when you play a chord progression using the same exact shape for each chord. So the first chord is like this B add 9, and then you got this like this D major 7 chord, C sharp major 7, all with add 9. So you have this. You just have like this cool vibe, and this is how the song works. Oh wow, my internet's like, guess what? You can't listen to it right now, and it's like, yes, I can. I just did. All right, here it comes. part's gone. Yeah, so again, like I really wanted to focus on making the music to sound as if the band was playing it. You know, like it's sort of, a lot of this stuff happens serendipitously, and you know, when I was writing the music, I was like, I want to write band music, but I also don't want it to sound like my band's music, because my band's music is like prog rock, like that's prog rock with horns. But this stuff has like really funky, like fun bass lines. It has a lot of like really ripping guitar, like, because I always imagine, when I saw all these photos of not photos, like drawings of Wayne like shredding on guitar, and like him like in these crazy like just ripping, and I'm like, oh man, I have to do that. Oh, dude, cooler than discovering that you invented the sub sandwich. I didn't invent the sub sandwich. That's a really good story. That was so good.
Yep.
But you know, I really wanted to enjoy. I wanted to like enjoy what I was playing, but I also wanted to bring this element of like the actual like characters playing their instruments. So any of the synthy stuff that you hear, that's like who plays the keyboards in the band? Is that Pongorma or
I think the first game didn't. I don't think it had a keyboard. It had guitar, theremin, and drum machine.
Oh, drum
in the new game, Pongorma is playing this like ridiculously massive synthesizer organ.
Like Keith Emerson.
Yeah, but it's like a joke on ridiculous synthesizers.
That's great. That's so good.
I got to step away for like a minute and a half for some reason.
Go ahead.
I'll be right back.
Here. So yeah, basically, you know, the music. What I decided to do was just like, oh yeah, and some snow singing. Yeah. There's only one track that has vocals. I'll play it. You guys heard the big part of it in the last snippet video that I posted. But this is a piece of music that is super fun. This is done all a cappella. Stacking of musical assets. It's just like adding parts. There's like 8 or 9 parts in music. This is like a flute part that I sort of dreamt up. Yeah, this is all my voice. Trumpet solo. So I'll show you guys how I get this. So yeah, and then obviously I have for the OST. So the OST, how it's going to be set up is it'll be 2 playthroughs of the song and then a fade out. And my portion of the OST, or the music that I wrote for the OST, takes up about 45 minutes in that formatting. Okay, so So there's an asset within that song that I think is really cool, and I wanted to talk about it briefly because I initially thought that I was going to be doing all of the music in my like scary shower in my basement that no one has ever used ever. Like I really wanted to put myself in like this really like horrible like cold confined space to see what would happen, and then I realized like, oh no, I need to be more comfortable to work. And I was going to be sitting in like, this is like an IKEA chair that like barely is hanging on, and this is the chair that I sat in for all of the music. So you could hear like there are certain, you can almost hear like the late night vibes, and like when things started to get like a little bit not necessarily tired, but yeah, the shower studio, yeah. So there's this one asset that I do in that piece of music, and it's like Tuvan throat singing with or Mongolian throat singing, a specific type of it, with added laryngeal trauma induced. So it's basically like the flicking of your larynx. So you get this sort of sound, and at the end, you know, so Tuvan throat singing, it's a really simple like kind of silly party trick that I do, where you basically just change your residential space in your mouth while you're singing a vowel, and you can get something that sounds like yeah, you get the idea. You can just like Tuvan throat sing. So if you like basically something like that at the end. And I did that a bunch of times until I got a good take that I liked for the recording, or until my voice started like to hurt. And I think you know, honestly, it's like a Mike Patton thing. Like I'm a huge Mike Patton fan from, you know, like Faith No More and specifically Mr. Bungle. There's like, if people are like hardcore Bungle fans, they're gonna get the Bungle reference like in one of the tunes that I wrote. There's like a very direct like, this is a Bungle vibe, and if you don't hear it over time, you know, like listen to Mr. Bungle, and then, you know, you'll definitely hear the it's not even a quote, it's just like I invoke the vibe. Most folks, yeah, you're, dude, Mason, your brother's in here fucking talking about most folks, dude. You know, you remember that part in the
What
Mr.
are we?
Bungle album?
No, I only know the big hits from Mr. Bungle. I gotta do the deep dive. You know, I know like you know, of course, Retro Vertigo and
Yeah,
Air Conditioned Nightmare,
Pink Cigarette, right?
No, maybe just those two. I might, but I really liked those two. You know.
Yeah,
I
Mr.
love,
Bungle is like so Mike Patton, for those of you that don't know, Mike Patton is he's a really fantastic vocal artist. He did all the monster noises for I Am Legend, and he also did all the monster noises for all the Left 4 Dead games, or the 2 Left 4 Dead games anyway.
Chuck, do you know this this album? It was on Mike Patton's label.
Oh, what is it? Who's it? What is it?
It's this weird Japanese band. But it was on his Ipecac label. It's like an avant-garde Japanese pop band. That was my like high school music, along with certain German metal bands.
I played a show with a Japanese avant-garde like experimental noise band once. Like they were on an international tour from Japan, and all of them dressed androgynously and performed, and literally there was nobody in the audience. It's crazy. Oh yeah, Bjork is awesome. Avant-garde Japanese Hatsune Miku. Sign me the fuck up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sign me up, dude. I will listen to that shit all day. Yeah, so basically, like, to describe to describe the music in a nutshell, I really wanted to have like a guitar player's sort of record, but I also wanted it to be approachable. You know, so there's no like there's nothing like hold on, I need to get in a position to play this. So you're not gonna hear like you're not gonna hear any like stupid like, you know, god awful sweep picking like that. Like there's no moments where the guitar just gets so insanely over the top and opulent. It's all recorded to try and be in good taste. A lot of people have given me fantastic compliments, saying that it reminds them of like Pink Floyd stuff. And that's really nice, you know, like to sort of just like be able to tap into that vibe. I was a huge Pink Floyd fan for a bit. And then I obviously, like, you know, like you just listen to other shit, but you know, Pink Floyd never goes away. Yeah, I mean, you know, like the music in Hylix 2, from my end, I've got 10 tracks that are placed throughout the game. Again, I'll go down the list of songs that you're going to hear. I did not work on the OST for Hylix 1. That was all Mason, and there's tons of Mason noodling and fun Mason music in Hylix 2. It's just embellished with deeper, you know, more crazy stuff from me. So we've got a maze level, a finale, a late game level, a dungeon level, airship theme. Mason, is it like a desert?
There is a desert.
Okay.
It was going to be an island, but you know, after like 3 years of developing that level, it morphed.
So like a sort of like desert, like a dry level.
Yeah, you know, I think the desert is more fun because like the island level, you know, it's like you fall in the water and you have to, you know, go back to the beach. You know, it's kind of a drag falling in. So the desert is go anywhere.
We have like the boss
10 minutes. We got 10 minutes left also.
Nice. There's like a more like this is a heavy battle theme, so it's like it's not necessarily like a boss, but like just a heavier it's not like the boss, but I guess like a boss battle theme, you could treat it like that. Regular battle theme, so anytime you get into a battle, you'll hear some of my music playing. You guys saw the latest YouTube trailer where Mason is showing off gameplay for like a side scroller portion of the game.
Yeah, so you wrote that funky track.
Yeah, that there's the level music for that, and then final boss battle music. So obviously, like there are a lot of pieces of music that are really important to the entire vibe of the game that Mason has entrusted me with, and for that I am so grateful, Mason. Like it's just such an important. It came at a really good time in my life to be able to write this music for you and for the fan base, and I really hope that everybody is looking forward to it. And that's basically everything that I wanted to share. You and we can talk about whatever for the last 10 minutes.
All right.
A funky little side scroll. I'm glad that like, you know, 80 or so people. There were 100 people in here before. I'm glad that like everybody decided to check it out again.
Yep.
I'm cheering from Japan. Yes. Yeah. Dude, I've been listening to a ton of J-Rock, man. That's all I've been listening to. Like, bro, I'm all about that polka dot stingray, dude. That's like that's my jam right now. What is this? Thanks for doing the stream. This was really cool. Oh, thank you. Mason saying thanks, everybody. Yeah, you know, and it's so cool because like Mason, I think one of the stream, you know, like Mason and I have like found that like at least from where I'm standing, you know, like I've found like a really like it's easy to work and make stuff with him. Like it's really simple to do. because like he's just an easygoing dude who makes like really good art and people like the stuff that he makes. And it's like, all right, well, I mean, like I'll just tap into that. I'll just like plug into that for a second. And, you know, like, I mean, I've been playing in a band for years, and like not a lot of people really know about the music. If you want to dabble in listening to it, you know, I've got everything that I do is listed in my bio personally. It's like my Instagram page is sort of morphed into a professional artist page as much as I can make it a professional artist page. So any projects that I'm involved on, you can check it out. I mean, it's just like, you know, working with Mason has sort of like rekindled this concept for me that like, oh, it's fine to not be doing stuff like with your band. Like you can go and do stuff with other people and make art with other people, and it'll be fine. So it's like, you know, I'm hoping that this is the first of several projects that Mason and I do. I mean, it'd be nice to do, but you know, we have to roll out Hylix 2 first and get these. Give these.
Could we see Mason's drawings? Let's see. I might have. I don't know how to flip the screen around when I'm on the bottom.
It's the same thing. You just double tap.
Oh. Let's see. Okay, here's the Wayne drawing for Hylix 2.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna get that tattooed on my body so fucking bad.
Yeah. I've got some notes, like, you know, about like changing the drawing around. It's got this kind of like Buster Keaton look with the eyes are a little far apart. So should I move that?
Buster Keaton, dude.
Yeah. And then let's see. Then we've got my wall. Here's my wall. Probably some keys.
Boring LSD. Part of yeah.
We've got
skeleton.
It's
so okay. Wait, we should let the chat decide. Chat. Do I get the Wayne with the flesh or the Wayne without the flesh tattooed on my body to commemorate?
You gotta get the Wayne with the flesh. This isn't canon. I'm joking. You gotta get the Wayne with the flesh, and then like every 5 years, you do like a different frame. You know,
do a cover up. Like I have the money set aside. I'm ready to go. I'm just gonna go get it fucking tattooed to me, dude. It's gonna be like it's gonna be amazing. Yo, that one's so good.
Yeah, this was like his foot fell off, but it's there's a grotesque like tower shield guy for one of the animations. Kind of a Alice in Wonderland kind of guy. Got a dental cast here. Great prop.
Is that yours?
It came into my possession. No, it's not my teeth. Yeah, I don't know whose teeth it is.
There's no way to know.
Whose teeth they are. Got Duck Wayne. Yeah, all the clay stuff. Oh yeah, and the Rogue Synth guy.
They changed the name of oh no, never mind. I thought that was funny. The mods changed something, but it's
Yep.
What did the mods do?
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention one last thing. Important part of the sound on Hylix 1, the E-bow. It's it's like a magnet. It's an electromagnet that vibrates the strings. So it's like a really it's this kind of unique sustain effect. It's kind of like a bowed instrument. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. It's the E-bow. E-bow. Check it out.
Oh, someone asked, "What's with the red gloves?" Those are the
Oh,
gloves, right?
yeah, the glove. These are the gloves I use for the like spell casting animations. They're red so that I can shoot them against a green screen. It's easier to do the let's see, somewhere I've got it. So I'll do the animations against a green screen. This is a rolled up green screen, of course. It's a green piece of paper, and then the red has a lot of contrast.
Right. Red is the opposite of green on the color wheel. Am I right?
That's how that seems to be the case. Yeah.
We have a minute and 50 seconds left. But
Yep.
yeah.
Let me flip this around. Okay. Yeah, we have a minute.
We initially we said we were going to do an hour and a half, and we went 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, basically, we are looking forward to the release. Like I know Mason's probably like infinitely more excited than any of us can possibly be, because it's his game and he gets to release it to the world. So thank you, Mason. You're a good dude, and we're all for tuning into the live stream. The Discord will remain. I think we're just gonna keep it alive and keep it moderated, and it's gonna be it's gonna be your community. So
Yep.
spread
I'll be on the
word.
Discord from time to time.
Yeah, we'll be checking the Discord out, and we're also, for those of you night owls, we're gonna make another announcement at some point, probably through the Discord and probably through Mason's Twitter and stuff. But there will also be a post game release stream where Mason and I will talk about the game more in depth. After we've played it and stuff. So